but I've got way too much Big Finish for my bank account, and I haven't listened to not even a quarter of it. It's frightening.
6,046 minutes remaining.
That's
sounds...
probably the amount of Big Finish I've listened to out of like 999 that I bought.
That sounds like I need to clear some space.
Don't we all?
Don't we all? You need to clear space in your bank account for more Big Finish.
Because we love stories.
We love gaps in continuity because it allows us to tell stories.
That may or may not need to happen. Oh, bless you.
Thank you. Sorry. It's the sun. I'm allergic to it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nova Podcast, episode 212. 212, yeah. 212. Back to consistency, hopefully. Back to quality, never. Back to regularities in the pension scheme, father.
I watched that this week. Finally, I'm only 3 episodes in, but yeah.
What, the IT crowd?
Yeah, just randomly, I got bored one night. I was like, let's whack that on.
So you started from the beginning?
Of course, yeah.
How are you finding it? Because Chris Morris is OG, boss man.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people argue that he's the best version that boss character can be, and Matt Berry is doing Matt Berryisms. Hi everyone, it's obviously me, George, him, Connor, and we talk about Matt Berry for about an hour and a half, and
Oh, cool, father. If you don't like that shit's better hit the wind.
But because I love IT Crowd, like I was about when it was on. That's a bit weird. Like it was on Channel 4 when I was a lot younger. It was one of them things that I missed a lot of the initial, like the first couple of series. I was probably a bit too young for it and didn't get it, and then got it more as I got older. And obviously,
that's a lot of things.
The exposure on Netflix and stuff has allowed a lot more people to get into it. I love it. I don't love the writer. Graham Linehan, obviously, very problematic person on social media and in real life because of his horrible opinions.
Oh, right, okay.
But in the attempt of you have to separate art from the artist, which people can do for certain things and not others, I can sort of get over a lot of, like, there is some stuff like subtly in the subtext of IT Crowd and just certain full-out episodes that are, more apparent when the one where fuck, what is it?
Father, where he...
Is his name? Yeah, Douglas. Yeah, when Douglas is...
Rainholm.
I always forget what Matt Berry's character name is actually. So it's Douglas Renham, and Denham Renham is the dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, like, there's one where he goes out with a woman who is transitioned from man to woman.
Fair enough.
And there's a whole thing where then they end up having like a fight at the end, like a proper fist fight, and it's over, Victoria. And like, you don't really understand the context of that until you look at Graham Linehan's Twitter, and you're like, oh, he doesn't really like trans people, and then you're like, that's a problematic episode. You can enjoy it and stuff, and as we say,
on its own merit,
media is a time capsule of the years and days and months that it comes out. We must not just erase it. We must, like Whoopi Goldberg for the Warner Brothers and Looney Tunes cartoons, we were bad at representation. This is, we keep it around so that we learn and do better, but here's the context of how it was made in this time, kind of thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because you can't watch Dumbo without realising that it's a bit racist.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Yes. Jeez. So, I do. The IT Crowd still stands a lot for me because it's that kind of darkish humour that I do resonate with more. It's why I like them. I really enjoyed the Mighty Boosh. The nuance stuff, the really deep nuance cuts in Toast of London, like, really speak to me. Obviously, like, What We Do in the Shadows is more of a mainstream equivalent. It's less nichey than some comedies. Like Black Boots is another one that I enjoy on the most part. I haven't watched properly in years. I believe Linehan was in that, was involved in making that as well. So again, problematic.
Oh, right, okay.
But what media isn't problematic, and hopefully not us,
especially these days. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
As time goes on.
Because
that was IT. Yes. Sorry, IT was like, Crowd was what, 2005, 2006. So that was before.
Around then, sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it ended in 2013 with the 2-part Series 5 episode.
Which I think on Netflix it's just Series 5, one episode, 45 minute.
Well, yes, like one hour and 90 minute kind of thing.
Yeah. Combined it, right?
So, yeah. Like, it was good. I think it sort of hit some strides like early on, and then obviously, like many Channel 4 things, it kind of
Went off the rails. And
well, not went off the rails. It's just like with a lot of, I think, TV in general, especially then when streaming obviously wasn't a thing. It's kind of like we've got a hit on our hands.
Of course,
we need to keep everyone sweet, keep everyone happy. We need to keep making this because obviously the audience love it, and maybe lost its way in a few places, but no, on the whole, it's something I really enjoy it. It's something I go back to watch, but obviously with the context of written by an arsehole. But, you know, what isn't these days?
Okay.
It's a problem that I think I'm going to have with Toaster London, because if I remember correctly, the guy who co-created it with Matt Berry, I think's in support of J.K. Rowling or something like that. It's one of those kind of things.
Oh.
But, you know, media is there to enjoy until it isn't.
Name and shame, Arthur Matthews. Is that him? Arthur Matthews?
I think so.
It was created by Arthur Matthews and Matt Berry.
It might be him, or it's someone like involved in like that level of it. It might be Arthur Matthews, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, fair
I
enough.
can't say for sure because I don't remember the interview, but someone pointed it out. People point out a lot of things. I don't necessarily listen to it, but here is a thing that you can listen to, and we won't be horrible to people because we hopefully try and welcome them.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, off the bat, this is actually going to come out on the day it's supposed to. It's, you know, August, fresh month.
Yeah.
It started on a Monday.
Yeah.
There is newfound motivation. Like, we're so close to some
I was
stuff.
going to say newfound episode, newfound footage.
Newfound footage. And I think with the motivation of what we've got coming up in September, which is going to be a good, you know,
course,
that's going to be a fun day, I think.
But hopefully not the last for that.
Wonder what
particular
our last
category.
days. Oh,
Oh, yeah, sorry. Our
yes.
episode's getting deleted.
I thought you just meant we were going to like just fucking die or something. I was like, Jesus.
No, we'll be renewed.
No, because we are definitely, I think we said last week, we're going to the Abominable Snowmen screening at the BFI.
The BFI.
So,
BFI.
The British Film Indestructible Building.
Not South Bank, that's the IMAX.
The South Bank one.
It is South Bank.
On the South Bank. So the IMAX one's the one that's in Central
somewhere.
London. This
Okay.
one's the one by the big water bit.
Oh, nice. Oh, I like the big water bit.
But we'll probably go. So,
Where?
I think we'll probably head down there about 10 after 10ish. It takes about 50 minutes to get there.
Okay. Yeah.
You've never been?
Not to South Bank, no.
No.
I think, no. Not to the BFI.
We might like see some people that are like, you've listened to your podcast, and we'll go, who?
What if Keith Harrington's there?
If Kit Harington's there, do I do the impression of Kit Harrington? Do Kit Harrington?
Watching Doctor Who.
It'd be a bit weird, like, oh, Kit Harrington, I
On
made
Saturday
to
afternoon.
watch that Patrick Troughton episode. Oh, reanimated. Oh, lovely. Are you going to bring anything to sign? Because I still don't know who the guest. I still don't know who the guest is. Should we
find out if it's Fraser Hines?
It might. 9 times out of 10, it'll probably be the companion or someone like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Fraser Hines or Wendy Padbury. Ideally.
Yes.
One of the two.
Ideally, it'll be one of them.
Or heck, bring Victoria if she wasn't in it.
Yeah, so I think it'll be one of them because obviously you weren't there last time.
No.
Obviously you weren't, because it was me. Because the lovely Dominic G. Martin, who check out his stuff because he's a lovely human being, couldn't go, so I bought his ticket off of him and was able to go. And I was like, this is strange, but it's such a cool. I think it's going to be a bit weird, like once you get there.
Right. Okay.
But then once you're in it, you're kind of just like, oh, this is fun because you introduction, watch. I think is it 6 episodes or is it 4?
I think it's 6. Gut feeling is 6, but I'll find out.
So I think they'll do, if it's 6, they'll do the first 3. They'll have a
they'll have
break where the Q&A with the animation team and directors and special guest, should there be one there, which there normally is.
Yeah, no, it is 6. Yeah, there is 6.
So no, it doesn't. They've still not said, and I can't really find it. So
only 1 exists and 5 are missing, but for the first time on.
we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you excited about it?
Of course, no. Honestly, like I said to you previously, whether it was on camera or off camera, anything animated that is going to be rediscovered and seen. All right, I know technically like loose cannon reconstructions, and you can sort of watch still images that have been around since the 90s on like Laserdisc and stuff. But that's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at a still image and then adding narration, or hearing Tom Baker go, "Oh, this is the part where the Doctor shoves a jelly baby down the Dalek's asshole, but sorry, we don't have any footage for that.
Carry all over your anus.
We don't have that, I'm afraid. Insert next shot here. we don't have that. That's not Doctor Who.
Can we make that documentary with Tom Baker, please, while we still can?
That's not Doctor Who.
But it's because it was such a surreal experience last time because I literally went there and then went back. So,
what did you watch last time? You didn't watch an anime.
It was Galaxy 4.
Oh, you did watch Lost one, okay.
Yeah, so I think because that was 4 episodes, I think, wasn't it?
Because it was City of Death that you said you wanted, or we would almost go.
We were going to go to, but because we didn't get because the tickets are set up quite far. But literally, I was there, like at the ready as soon as it was hit 11:30 the day the tickets were released. So I was kind of like, it's now or never.
Yeah, no,
so,
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, we'll do some. We'll go down there and maybe grab some lunch after, and then just like discuss the events. We'll video while we're down there as well, because
discuss the event review.
Yeah, maybe talk to some Who people.
Who cast people.
Maybe Mr. Tardis will be there again. Yeah. With carry all over his anus. Deluge. I don't know. I don't know if Will's going. I've not heard. But I know people travel far and wide to see the spectacle. It's quite exciting. It'll be nice for us.
That's what I mean. It's an event.
It'd be nice for us to both go.
Oh, absolutely. I've always wanted to go. But I just didn't know it really was a thing. I just expected the DVD to come out and it was like, oh, I saw it earlier. But I was like, oh, you've got like millions of subscribers ahead of us and you get invited to these things. But oh no, it's not as complex as that.
It's not as exclusive. They let any old tart in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so if you see us at the BFI South Bank, do not speak to us. We are too... No, please, come say hello.
Yeah, please.
Come say hello. I wish we would give you something in return, like a sticker, or so we'll just give you an item of our clothing.
A sonic screwdriver.
You can have a sock,
a jelly baby,
a shoe, and by the end of the night, our pants. No, we need those. Otherwise, we'll get arrested. But yeah, I'm like, do I bring one of my previous Trout and Steelbooks in case it's Fraser Hines? Like that's the point I'm at, and I'm like, which one do I like the most? And I'm like. Probably Magneterra.
Oh, you've got the steelbooks for those as well, have you? The classic
I've got all of the so every time they do like the re-released animation ones, I've got the steelbook because I'm a steelbook core. But yeah, so I've not Abominable Snowmen. I didn't pre-order because I was going to pre-order it and then it went off. Like it had a date, and it didn't have a date, and then it was just like coming soon. Yeah. And it's out next Monday?
I think.
No, it's out the Monday after.
The
Monday after we see it.
We've seen it the 3rd, and I think it's out the 5th. It's out 2 days.
I'll pre-order it when I get paid then, because otherwise, do it then. Yeah. Do it then. And if I don't like it, I'll just fucking throw it in the sea. I don't know.
Throw it in the sea.
This is not what I pay my fucking license fee for, you bastards. Big Finish. Off. I don't know. Speaking of Big Finish.
Yeah.
So we had I don't know if you've caught up with the recent saga of here's a Doctor Who B&M wave because we're back. So they announced the next wave, and it's a bit shit.
Oh right. Okay.
So far they haven't. So what they'd normally do, 2 History of the Daleks packs, which is like a Dalek 2 pack. I think they're up to. Let me have a look. I'll have a look for it. While I also stall for time. So they normally have 2 Dalek history packs, 2 triple packs, and a Doctor and TARDIS. Because the last one I got the Patrick Troughton War Games TARDIS. But the screw still is worn away, so I can't get the band off of the bottom, so that's why it's like leaning to one side. But so they released it. Well, they released the first look.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's always something.
B and M Doctor Who. Here we go. So we've got the next 2 History of the Daleks packs are History of the Daleks 9 and 10. 9 is Planet of the Daleks 1973, which is set 2. So they must have done set 8 must have been set 1. Like History of the Daleks 8 must have been set 1 of this. So it's got the Emperor one with the purple lights and the Invisible one.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the Invisible
The
One.
Resurrection,
Revelation.
Revelation,
Yeah,
the R one that's not Remembrance,
Oh, one that's not remembered. Yeah.
and Death to the Daleks, which is the two grey ones from the 1974 story. Now,
I think I'd say my least favourite Dalek design.
boring,
Just kind
easy
of dull.
scratches.
Yeah, just kind of dull.
Now I'm going to hit you with the first triple pack.
Okay.
It's called the 10th Doctor triple pack.
Oh, Tennant, and Tennant.
Yes,
Yes.
3 David Tennants.
Oh, really? Is it?
So
Different
you've
jackets.
so you've got David Tennant blue suit, but they've taken there's no
See, that looks more like 2021, set photo leaked Tennant.
but there's no brown pinstripes on that like there normally is.
Yeah.
So people are debating: is this from Sarah Jane is this meant to be like the Sarah Jane Adventures one?
Oh,
But it's still the old mould, but they haven't put the pinstripes back on like they did, and it was a darker blue. But that's just me, you pedantic bastards. And it's and my only thing is that it's a David Tennant with an overcoat, which I don't have, and I also don't have a David Tennant in the blue suit without glasses on. But I have at least 7 David Tennants. And then what they've done here is they've taken the body of Matt Smith, not literally, plastic Matt Smith.
The mould of Matt Smith.
The regenerated which they did the regenerated costume with Matt Smith's head, and then him with his tweed thing from the end of 11th Hour. So what they've done is they've taken that and put David Tennant's head on it because it's from the spin-off comic where he gets stranded in the woods, and he wears that outfit. So the cover is obviously a picture of Matt Smith in that, but they've then just swapped out the head.
Photoshopped his head.
So that's a spin-off comic. David Tennant. If you want,
from the multiverse of media. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now here's the one that I would. I want the Dalek ones. Obviously, I've only got Dalek packs 1 and 2, so I'm a bit behind.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
that's fine.
The 8th Doctor triple pack.
Ooh, Paul with long hair, Paul in the dark eyes leather jacket, and then one in the green time warp garb. Have I actually got?
You've literally just
spot on. No, hang on. Have I actually got?
So we've got TV movie, which is the first
Victorian,
which is the first figure that's actually got the right colour tie and waistcoat, as many people pointed out online.
Okay.
I don't have a Paul, but then the face mould, it looks a lot worse than it has in recent years.
Oh, shame.
Dark eyes with bag.
Okay, yeah, with the bag.
None of these come with a sonic screwdriver, which is criminal.
Shame. Yeah.
And then Night of the Doctor.
Yeah. Oh, how do I guess that?
Now I would have that one just because purely I don't have a single Paul McGann figure.
Yeah.
And the Night of the Doctor variant is ridiculously hard to get hold of. It was in, I think, a SDCC exclusive 2-pack thing back in the day.
Yeah, and it obviously went off the shelves.
Yeah. So it's, if you want to get it on eBay now, it's
sexy.
It's minimum 40-50 quid kind of thing. But obviously that looks great for. I think
I don't know what it is about that suit, the hair, everything about that look.
Everything about Paul McGann looks sexy. Yes, yes. So I want that. Yeah, and I'm not against the Dark Eyes one because that is essentially Christopher Eccleston body,
prototype,
and they've put the Paul McGann head on it, but they put the same Paul McGann head from that on, so that's a bit.
But when he gets the leather jacket in Dark Eyes 1, he has a shorter haircut, literally like a flat, and then eventually in Ravenous and Doom Coalition, his hair does grow into the ponytail. But it isn't as neat as that.
Yes.
So it does kind of happen.
So I would have it for them, but the David Tennant pack, I'm struggling to find a reason but they haven't announced, or they're not doing a Doctor Tardis pack, which is
that's unusual.
As many people calling it the worst wave in years.
Oh dear.
Because a lot of the waves you've had you had the Friends of the Fourth Doctor, you had two both Romanas and Sarah Jane and things like that. It's those kind of things. But I digress. I think probably my favourite triple pack from B&M is probably the Unit, the Friends of the Doctor, from Unit, which had the Brig, Benton and Yates in it as well. Yeah, but
nice.
Brig had the actual ball joint in the shoulder, so you could actually move his arm like a thing instead of the old character options, which a lot of the earlier Doctor Who New Who figures suffered from. David Tennant doesn't have a joint there, so he can't move like that. It's literally just you move his arm like that, and that's all you get is the spin round. You don't get any out or any of that. Whereas a lot of the later ones past that, you get even Series 3 onwards with Jack and the Master and Yana, they all have the joints there and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, fair
enough. But Eccleston has one, but Tennant doesn't. and that's because Eccleston had a release. So there
Right.
is
Yeah.
the regenerated tenant in Eccleston's clothing is the
Exactly.
only tenant you can have with that joint. I believe
Oh, right.
toy
Oh,
fans get
oh
in touch.
dear. That's some hardcore
But it-
Q&A trivia.
But it has made me want to get what
What
is
figures
it?
are doctors?
No, what was it? What was it? There was a one I was thinking of. What was I thinking of?
Eccleston and figures and doctor and jackets and joints.
Because there's
Dancing
the
joints.
tuxedo one
Yeah.
from Lazarus Experiment / Voyage of the Damned. Like, there's one
Or
of those
Tenet.
that's still available on Amazon and it's quite cheap. So I might, because that's one of the only Tenant variants I don't have. I have him in the spacesuit. There's one of him with the helmet from Impossible,
Impossible,
and there's the orange version of the spacesuit, which is from 42. But you know.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, fair enough.
An example of another triple black, which I still haven't opened.
Oh, Peter and the Russian warrior robot. Oh, it's from Earthshot, not Five Doctors.
I will rest the rest of Moira, but yeah, that's a Peter Davison that's still in the box.
Oh.
So they're the kind of things. It's like, either are we going to get classic figures? Or are we going to? I still want. I want a Fugitive Joe Martin Doctor. I want a Sacha Dhawan Master and a Dan the Van Man or Carvanista.
That's a fair shout. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Yeah. That's toys. That was Toy Talk. That was a long time. But yeah,
Toy finish.
But I just thought, because you're back in the Big Finish land.
I
and
am.
That man is from Big Finish, the Dark Eyes one.
Yeah.
So why are you back in
quite
Big
okay.
Finish, young squire?
Well, you can thank a certain Russell T Davies as the only person to thank for Doctor Who in my in terms of new Who. I mean, there's loads of people to thank for classic Who. We'd be here
There's
all
loads of people
night.
to thank.
We'd be here all night. But no, so a certain Eccleston, certain leather jacket chap with almost a bald haircut back then in 2005. I've rewatched series 1. I was going to do a slow rewatch. I am doing a slow rewatch of the show until hopefully 2023 special when the RTD era kicks off again. But I've already finished series 1. I was going to really do it slow, but I've finished series 1 so quick, and just hearing Eccleston and that first season and Billy Piper and not so much Noel Clarke and John Barrowman, but the characters that they portrayed, it just made me think, you know what? Christopher Eccleston came back to Big Finish, and I remember hyping it up and giving a damn about it, but then I never got around to actually listening to because Jacob Dudman, famous YouTube narrator, sort of previously kicked off the Ninth
And
Doctor
actor.
era. Kicked off the new Doctor Who era for Big Finish, the new Who stuff for Big Finish, but he voices the Doctors, whereas, of course, the actors Tennant, Matt Smith and Eccleston were kind of unaware. But as of May 2021, Chris Eccleston stepped back for the first time in 16 years to portray the Doctor in audios, and I've basically listened to
And I hope that Eden Park turns round and has a shit on you.
And he doesn't have his northern accent. He sounds more British. I had to think, is that Christopher Eccleston? But it has been 16 years, so I can't really shame on it too much. But no, I've listened to the first the first Ninth Doctor set of Ravagers.
What did you think of it?
Quite nice.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say fantastic, but
Clever.
no. But I've heard the later stories and what they involve, and I think they're more kind of hopefully more my forte. But I rate it. Essentially, it was a 3-part story across 3. It's 3 individual stories, but they very much end and continue next on. There's not 3 individual stories that then link. It is very much.
So it's a bit like
Story
Series
one
1, like
and yeah.
like there's maybe
Sound
adventures
of
in between. But a lot of stuff.
Utopia, Sound of Drums, Last Time Lord. Essentially,
Yeah.
it's like that.
Okay. Eccleston on fire?
Is he on fire?
Yeah, like is he great? Like is he back, or is it like this is where he's settling back into it, and then in the next story he's kind of like, boom.
See, yeah, I felt like that in the second story. Yeah, the
Yeah.
first story was very much. I mean, obviously, just being adjusted to listen to audio in my ear and being like, "Oh, where's the visuals?" But that's just the format. But no, hearing a guy who I didn't think was 2005 Eccleston, and then realizing this is 2021 Eccleston or 2020 when you recorded it, I was like, "Oh, okay, that's kind of a valid reason as to why he doesn't sound exactly how you would." Looking at the cover art, you'd be like, "It's that Eccleston," whereas like, no, it's if they put Photoshop modern day Eccleston on, I'd be like, okay, that's more leeway.
Yeah.
No, it was fine. It was interesting. Companions before Rose. He had a life before Rose. How does that happen? No, it just explores that gap of being good with the word of him in Rose looking at himself in the mirror, not establishing his face. Like him genuinely looking in the mirror and sort of playing with his ears, whatever he did in Rose, is established in Tardis wiki canon of him sort of recognising his incarnation. But in looking at that timeline since and hearing the amount of the big finish he's done since, there's a good few stories where he did run around and supposedly he didn't look at himself in the mirror once or comment on his face or be like,
maybe he didn't have time. You know, like how like you regenerate and you're immediately in the
he's
story.
a busy chap. He gets up to a lot.
Do we get any stories post John Hurt regeneration like immediate, or are we?
What would they argue? We don't definitively know, don't we? Because after Day of the Doctor and John Hurt is there in the TARDIS after the moment and everything, you sort of see him flicker. He glows yellow, and you assume he regenerates.
And then, like, you see the eyebrows start to form, and then
Yeah,
they cut away.
It does.
They cut away, deriving us of the one bit of joy that we could have fucking surmised from that regeneration scene. That's all we wanted. If I fucking maintain that if Eccleston had just done that,
exactly, then
perfect, because it would have been like, cool, you've put this, you've fucking jimmied this Doctor in, Moffat, but at least we've had a proper regeneration from Paul McGann into him, and now we've seen it come full circle, and this is the start of essentially 2005 Doctor Who.
Because even pre-John Hurt and pre-New Who, the Eighth Doctor novels were around, and alright, there was a vague novelisation, I can't think of the one, what it's called, but essentially he does regenerate, but even that doesn't really explicitly state how he regenerated.
Yeah, okay.
He sort of dies, he does the Time War, he survives, kills Daleks, and that's it. And
dies, and then dies,
and the TARDIS dies, hence why the Victorian fancy movie exterior gets fucked into the 2005 one. There's something like that.
Always blows up at the wheel of a spaceship.
It does.
Always in flight. It always fucks the TARDIS up. But then maybe, it's his scheme to get regeneration insurance money. I don't know.
Blow up your TARDIS.
You won't believe this, Gallifrey. I've blown up my TARDIS fucking regenerating in Eden Park. And I hope it turns around and has a shit on you. Christopher Eccleston's Instagram for anyone who wants to feel inspired by a man who literally doesn't give a shit about the
about the
idiotic people on this planet, and it's great.
I think I follow him on Instagram.
Wonderful man, terrible lady, but because not much has happened in terms of the centenary. We still
nothing.
There's been like rumours that it's going to be called Timefall or.
Right.
The woman who fell to time.
I read something this morning. I'm sure it was either this morning or yesterday morning, saying it'd been cancelled entirely and it weren't going to happen because of the lack of marketing. So it's something stupid like that.
Yeah, that's
like, right, cool.
That's never going to happen because that's not how television works, ladies and gentlemen.
That's not how business works. Yeah, exactly.
But because we are at this moment in time in August.
Yeah, right.
And the 100th anniversary of the BBC is in October.
So roughly 8 odd weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we should have at least had a title
and
something other than the Next Time trailer, which we haven't.
Really
is this a long gap in terms of anything for the marketing than, when they just went, Legend of the Sea Devils is on next week? Or is this, are we longer than that yet? Because I feel like there's been a big gap between
must be. That was
Christmas and Easter.
That was
Christmas
Easter.
and Easter, and then we've had...
That was,
May. Rest of April was nothing. May, June, July. So this is the fourth month of. It's going to be the fourth month of
weeks,
nothing.
Roughly. Yeah. Oh, that's
about the same.
I'd say shocking, but
if we get into September and nothing's happened,
then
something is seriously. Do you think they don't give a fuck because the era is ending? Russell's doing his best to both promote this remaining era and his own.
Right.
The hype train and the marketing for that has been so stellar. It's almost like there's two different marketing teams, kind of, in terms of two different, definitely at least two different approaches to the style.
It felt like Sony and Marvel doing all of the MCU, not just Spider-Man and Marvel. It felt like two brands trying to do the MCU.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Because we still haven't heard. We don't know a title. We don't know a runtime. We don't know an air date.
No.
We sort of know who's in it. from
right,
the trailer.
From the trailer. Yeah.
But we still don't have an idea of the basic plot synopsis.
No, we got God no. Who's to say there's more surprises in the episode as well?
Well, the rumour is, like we said before, like people have said that, they're not happy with the edit on it, it's a bit of a mess or whatever. Whether we can believe that or not is completely different. But also the fact that there's rumoured to be more surprises in it, whether they're true or not. We know that Tennant will maybe be in it. So here's an interesting...
He will end with it.
He will end. No, hopefully David Tennant doesn't end in it.
He will end.
Hopefully David Tennant continues existing for at least another 30
he will
years.
end the episode.
Yes.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
I would... so have you heard... So obviously David Tennant couldn't go to Seattle Comic Con or whatever it was and sent a message, and he was in his trailer and seemingly maybe doing reshoots or continuing the shoot for the 60th.
Right.
So seemingly that special has wrapped completely now.
Already? Okay.
I know there was the second director that we saw on Instagram, I forgot their name, but they're directing one of the other specials. Now, if David Tennant has wrapped, Ncuti Gatwa is now, at the moment, presumably filming Sex Education Season 4, which started production on Monday in London, yes.
Gone? Okay, fair enough. All right.
So either there's a gap where there's not any Doctor Who being filmed, or the rumour at the moment is that the other director or whoever they are, I think it's because we had that other person that was... is the Doctor Who clapperboard and stuff, yeah. So, is it that they're filming the next special with a different Doctor? Is it what we suspected? Maybe it's...
Who? Which one?
Well, because rumours are abound that due to recent spottings in the city of London...
Spotted in London Facebook page, yep.
Well, presumably his hair is back to relevant quiffiness. Matt Smith has been spotted around central London.
Ooh!
And apparently, I've not had this confirmed.
Yeah, okay. None of us have, yeah.
That Karen Gillan is currently back in the country. That is a rumour.
Okay.
Matt Smith we've seen. Right. We've seen him around in the last month or so with more...
faces,
more faces, yeah. But also because obviously, they're building up to the promotion of House of the Dragon premiere, which premieres at the end of the month.
Right? Yeah, of course.
Which is, I'm really looking forward to that because it's a different time, it's a different production team. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing how this lines up with
Game of Thrones.
If you watch House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, you're meant to get the gist of the same world, but these are two completely different creative teams.
The Hobbit, but better, is what we want.
Put that on the poster. The Hobbit, but better. So so if Matt Smith and Karen Gillan, like we said with Andy, if they're in at least
anything
one of
about
them.
Arthur Darvill, or is it just Amy and the Doctor?
From all I've heard is Karen.
Just those two. Okay.
I don't know about Arthur Darvill. I would fucking honestly, if we get those three back together again just for one more go, I'm down.
Do it.
I'm down to
do it.
It makes the most thematical sense.
Yeah, it would.
In terms of he spent a lot of his life with them and they're important to him, and not to diss on Jenna Coleman, but they work the best together. We said with Annie before, it felt a bit sort of, bodged together maybe, but she definitely works better with Capaldi.
Agreed,
that being said, if we're having a special with David and a special with Matt, and the third special possibly with Peter.
Ooh, Peter. Okay.
I would love it
if Clara came back for that. Or Bill.
I would love Bill. I would love one more go with Bill and Nardole.
Series 10 2.0 for one episode. Yeah, I'd do that. Yeah.
Like an in-between adventure kind of thing. Or if you're gonna look for the place with the biggest gap, it would be Series 8, 9, 12 and Clara. That would be the kind of thing. Which I'm not against, because from what work she's doing in The Sandman at the moment on Netflix.
Did she came out
very
yesterday?
Good.
Yesterday or the day before? This week?
Yesterday, I think. Yeah. Yesterday?
7, 8 episodes, something like that.
She's quite good in it. I've not finished it yet, but what she's doing. I've never doubted that Jenna Coleman is a great actress.
No, absolutely. I think she's great.
I think the character is severely dampened by the fact that they didn't have a fucking clue in Series 7.
No.
And Series 8 was kind of just like, she's the best one ever, and it's like, why though?
Impossible.
Why is she the best companion? Like, what have we seen that makes her the best?
She can't be a Time Lord, but they didn't go down
But we
that route.
basically make her own Doctor Who. She becomes her own Doctor Who with her own
Clara
assistant.
Who.
Clue!
Clara Who.
um,
Jesus. That's a big Finish box set right there.
but yeah, so if, could it be Matt? Could it be Matt Smith now? Now he's in the Tardis. Let him eat some custard and fish fingers. Amy, he wants you now.
In an alternate timeline.
Now. Come with Arthur Darvill. Maybe, yeah, so obviously it's alternate timeline. Doctors going back through just the old favourites, eh? It's kind of that. It's come to fruition. The curator's kind of words, maybe. I don't know. People have said it would be great if it was like Tennant into like McCoy into Capaldi into Ncuti Gatwa, and it was just all the Scottish doctors.
That would be a good conspiracy.
Yeah. Clara.
I was gonna say, imagine Tennant in like McCoy's clothing with the umbrella, doing the McCoy accent, and being like, "New teeth, that's weird."
Teeth, that's weird. Unlimited rice pudding. That's not my line, but yeah, I'm excited because people are saying that maybe we'll get an announcement about the next special, or at least something.
Gotta get something
by the end of this month, possibly. So we will find out. We will stay tuned for you guys, and probably do an announcement because we've been wanting to do some like Doctor Who things of like just like reacting to the stuff, but we just haven't really had time at the moment. But it says a lot about life. But
it says a lot about who
am I? Where am I? And who are you? What did I see? So I want to go over some Marvel stuff as we always do.
Of course.
To just try and clear my fucking back catalogue of shite. Yes. So, here's the thing I saw. We got we got our first set photos from Echo.
Yes.
Did you see those?
I did see the one
with
or two.
Vincent
with a certain
D'Onofrio.
character. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So we saw him in full-on Wilson Fisk mode.
Yeah.
We got more of a
he
close.
Looks very Vanessa-y. As if
Vanessa.
In that scene.
For Vanessa. But obviously, and we've seen our first proper look at the Daredevil costume that's going to be in She-Hulk, which we get next Thursday.
That has gone very quick, yeah.
It has gone very quick. I'm looking forward to it. I think we've had a nice break.
Yeah, it's been a long enough break. Yeah. Bloody hell,
I don't want it to be overpowered by all the other, like, the rumours of, like, the
cameos.
Thing being in it and stuff like that, and loads of cameos of characters that are never really going to get a light of day shot.
Yeah.
It's going to be... I don't want it to be an overload of that, but I also want a bit of world building within that. And obviously, Charlie Cox back.
I want street level NYC action as well.
Yes, I want to feel like I'm in Netflix again. I want to see, because this will essentially set the stage for what kind of tone Daredevil Born Again might take.
Exactly.
Obviously can take darker because Falcon and Winter Soldier dealt for essentially a 12A dealt with a lot of darker issues.
It definitely did. Yeah. It didn't shy away from anything.
I mean, a man got his head cut off by a shield. I'm excited for that because I love Vincent D'Onofrio an unlimited amount because he is one of the best villains in the MCU. He's properly in it. Yeah. I can't wait to see more of him. I can't wait to see him go up against Matt again. And maybe hopefully a Spider.
Yeah, hopefully a Spider as well.
If Tom Holland faced off against D'Onofrio, I would.
That would be a movie. That's a movie. That is a movie. And going by the thing of like them committing to different movies of villain, we've not had a Spider-Man Kingpin movie like throughout history. So do it. It's a movie. Do it. They have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Every MCU movie, they haven't gone to the Rogues Gallery and gone, oh, they've done that one before. Let's do it. All right, you can argue No Way Home, but that was a clusterfuck of people, so it wasn't just one movie. But no, Kingpin, Spider-Man hasn't been done before. Do it. Throw in a little devil in the mix, like the classic '90s cartoon episodes that were epic. So yeah, do it. Make it a movie.
Yes, 110%, little person. But what we did get, what we did seemingly get confirmation on is the return of Punisher.
Yeah.
Because Rosario Dawson let slip at what expo was it? C2E2 2022.
Sounds like a weird Star Wars one.
I can't zoom in on the thing, so I don't know.
Z2E2.
Chicago. Was it Chicago? Could be cool. Might be Chicago Comic Con, where Rosario Dawson basically says in a thing that I just learned just recently that the Punisher's coming back, and I love John Bernthal.
My boy's back.
And obviously Rosario Dawson was the linking tissue between
those shows,
Marvel Netflix world. So hopefully she comes back,
I think
because
she's the only one to appear in all 5 or 6.
Yes.
Of them. Yeah.
She definitely was. That's exciting because we love John Bernthal. It's one step closer to reuniting the League of Defenders, and possibly one step closer to the Midnight Suns film that apparently they're developing, which could be the Punisher, Moon Knight, Daredevil, and a version of Ghost Rider.
So, I mean, going along with recent developments of a certain knight that believes in the moon and has the power of the moon, I mean, Oscar, like we sort of commented on it last week, maybe, or I know we talked about it. But Oscar Isaac in Egypt, why else would we be here? If it ain't for Moon Knight Season 2, maybe it is his bit in Midnight Suns, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe it's a worldwide affair film. Maybe it will be across various countries. Maybe they have to go to Egypt to do one bit, they have to go there to do one bit, and in the third act they'll go to hell and fight Mephisto. Maybe, I don't know. It's a weird supernatural movie.
Possibly.
Perhaps.
I mean, I'm up either way. I'm up for it. But I really hope more John Bernthal Punisher, because we've got Daredevil back. Let's have him. Let's have Mike Coulter, Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Let's have, because apparently one of the threads running from She-Hulk into Echo on Daredevil's part is that he's looking for Jessica Jones.
Yeah, right.
Which should hopefully mean the re-emergence of Kristen Ritter. Which,
crossed,
yes, bloody please!
Do it.
Do it, Anakin. Do you want to hear the Loki Season 2 rumour?
Go on then. Who's it?
There is no Season 2. No.
There is no... It was Season 1 all along.
So rumours coming out from MEU are that Loki Season 2 has several episodes that are set in the 70s, which we kind of guessed from set photos.
Right, okay.
Chris Hemsworth will return again to give voices to Throg, and obviously rumoured for a cameo of a version of Thor.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Kang wins in the end, and Loki is returned to Earth 616, which is apparently the MCU designation now. Which, even though it's not, but just try not to think about it, guys.
Wait, you name an expert's named your universe 838.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, what do we think about that? I mean, I don't want him returning to the universe.
No, but I don't know how you're going to get them to meet, as in Thor and Loki, you're going to get them to reunite
properly. But I
wouldn't
be adverse to the culmination in Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars being because Garfield and Maguire and Stewart and that are rumoured to, because it's Battle World, loads of different universes. It's an opportunity to recast some faces and things like that and change the status quo of things. I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of where Loki, maybe sort of had his arc finalised, and maybe that's where you'd get Tom Hiddleston out of it, maybe. And that kind of thing.
Yeah, so his, like in Doctor Strange's words, maybe, I'm not saying he'll sacrifice himself, maybe not by choice, but his sacrifice will be for the calculus of the multiverse.
Maybe he'll get killed in Battle World, or end up in a different universe, or there'll be a different version of him in our universe.
Season 2 will have an ending where, Kang, like you say, Kang will win, Loki will be unknown, and we'll sit here until Secret Wars to get Thor and Loki's reunion, but then it won't be the Loki we know, because sometime
because he's dead,
and he's fucking dead, and he's Kang all along or some crap, I don't know.
He was Kangatha all along.
Kangatha.
Yes, so very much.
Will Loki or Kang be part of Agatha's Coven of Chaos? Random one.
Maybe.
Random one.
We don't know.
Yeah, random one.
What we do have a theory about is that Nick Fury might still know who Spider-Man is, because he was off-world when the spell was cast, so maybe it only affects...
it's got to affect people on the Earth, because he's off-world.
Because it infects...
They can specify whether it's universal. Right, that's a shout.
Possibly.
But we also know Secret Invasion, I mean, we might have said it, but it's a crossover series, so
the first
it's not
one.
going to end in 6 episodes.
It's going to be here's what's coming. So it's basically going to be like a 6-hour-long trailer for the rest of the MCU.
Exactly.
In certain ways. Hopefully not too many, because world building is only fun when you actually build upon it. Just like Michael Rosenbaum confirmed that Martin X will be in Volume 3. which is
Why, Nick?
that's the one, the OG Guardians that Sylvester
Oh,
Stallone
right.
leads
Yeah.
in one of the
I was
post-credit
like,
scenes.
Michael Rosenbaum's Lex Luthor. What's he got to do with Marvel? And I was like, is he cast? Is he bloody
Crystal
Sam
Head.
Rockwell's character?
He's
I was like,
Crystal Head Man.
Yeah. Did he actually play him in Guardians 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so he's back with number 3. Cool. Alright.
So that's an interesting
Yeah.
caveat, just like this. So, Earth 838 is a mirror dimension of Earth 616,
Right.
which is also like if you look at the the fact that the universe designation is 2 of the same number and then a different one in the middle, but it's because
Right.
it's so if you look at the bedroom in one division,
Yeah.
it's flipped in Multiverse of Madness when she's saying goodnight to the boys.
Right, yeah. Okay.
So everything, like even with the fact that Billy and Tommy are on different sides of the room.
Huh. That's a cool little detail. Send me that one because I might share that to other people. That's a cool little detail.
I shall. Just like this cool little detail about MODOK being ugly as ball bags.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Because that was when before Darren Cross was leaked. Not Darren Cross, fucking Corey
Corey
Stoll was tagged by Evangeline Lilly in the script for this because seemingly a version of Darren Cross has like become a version of MODOK, which is, dare I say it, worse than the video game adaptation of MODOK in the Avengers game.
Right. Okay. Darren Cross is in.
Darren Cross, Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, Darren Cross is the universe. Yeah, he's played by Corey Stoll. Right. Yeah, I was like, is Darren Cross another actor? But right, it's the character. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yellow Jacket, Yellow Murdoch. I think. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not bummed by him coming back, but hopefully, if they can do him justice, but make Kang different but interesting, but not make him look like that, then I'll be here for it.
Oh yes, 110% little person. But
I don't know. Yellow Jacket as MODOK. Bloody Jim Carrey should have been MODOK.
that would have been great.
Eggman would have been MODOK.
But you know what he's going to be in? Sonic 3 in
I
2024.
know, December the 20th, 2024, isn't it? End of 2024.
Yeah.
Mm.
Still need to see Sonic 2.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Great time.
I enjoyed the first one a lot. Second one, I'm pretty sure I will also enjoy in some capacity. Trying to look for more of the Marvel stuff. No. Done that, so I'll keep that and I'll send that to you. There's some jokes. Apparently, MCU Namor has a deep admiration for T'Challa in terms of the universe because it's a king of a kingdom of a nation that's made up a lot of people from a minority background, which is
It's touching.
that's sort of makes sense of how you would link Namor to the MCU as a wider whole, and plus he has a lot of history with Black Panther anyway.
But
So
then my
that's-
question is, obviously, if the Chadwick situation aside, would he have had as much admiration and positive words that you've just said if said Black Panther was alive in the movie and, they're not going to butt heads over who rules the land of the sea and the earth?
I don't know.
Or do you
Maybe
think that's more of a post-humorous thing that they've then written to make him more...
No, I think maybe it would have been like a link anyway because of like how the universe around the Black Panther legacy is set up. Maybe it's something that then will be more prominent in the film's release when we find out in November, but we obviously won't know yet. The another theory going around is that Kang had a fear of Tony Stark. Because obviously the theory is that Kang fears Tony Stark, and as Tony had the shield will to protect everyone around him, would go on any extent to bring down Kang's conquest, hence why he developed a storyline in which Tony dies fighting Thanos. Because obviously Kang / He Who Remains / all of those had, inspiration over the sacred timeline and the flow of time in the universe.
Right.
So did it build to that on purpose so that then Kang's could...
Then take over.
Yes.
Is Iron Man literally the key in the soul of the MCU?
Well,
even in death?
Yeah, well, clearly because he was the face and voice and heart of it, and was,
Wrongfully
would
taken
rally
away from
the
us, but
Avengers around, presumably.
Because even now in Phase 4, we still have got no official state of Avengers. We've got
We
them
know
scattered.
we know that it's coming.
They're around, yeah.
And from what we can tell, the face of the Infinity Saga will presumably be more of a Doctor Strange figure, taking up the Tony Stark kind of mantle, which...
I mean, similar facial hair, good cue. Yeah.
Similar facial hair, great
Spider-Man.
eyes.
Spider-Man's got to be the face of, like, the street level sort of Earth tier heroes, if you want to call them that.
Yes.
/ Captain America.
Like, you would presume that it would be...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm also basing just because of how much Doctor Strange did in Infinity War and Endgame. How vital he was. For a second, technically third appearance, like, he was so vital.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
And he was great.
Yeah, he was amazing.
And he didn't have his own boots yet.
No.
Didn't have boots until Multiverse Madness. Couldn't afford shoes, ladies and gentlemen. Sorcerer Supreme.
All good facial hair, apparently.
But you know who could afford boots? Not the people making I Am Groot, because that released today, but it was only 3 minutes long.
Yeah, it's 5 shorts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
And it was a 3 minute long for the first one that released today, and obviously they're all set between the post credit scene.
Oh, they not all released? I thought they all got released.
I think it was only one.
Oh, really?
It'd be really fun if they're releasing 1 3 minute thing. Like that
every week.
Yeah.
Oh.
Every week for 3 minutes. Just watch your 3 minutes and fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a bit insane. But, I don't know. I'm still looking forward to it. It's a nice little, it's a short thing. It's not anything... It's not anything majorly serious.
Unless the last one is 30 seconds and then it's a 2.5 trailer for Guardians 3.
Maybe.
I don't know, just to piss take, yeah.
That would be the most James Gunn thing to do. But
subvert expectations.
Very, very true. Just like how does this segue work? So, what is going on at DC?
I don't know, you tell me. Every week we change the story, and Warner Brothers have done it for us once again because there's multiple bloody headlines.
First off, Ezra Miller reportedly travels to the US carrying a gun and wearing bulletproof vests as they are fearing that they are being followed by the FBI and the Ku Klux Klan.
Woohoo.
But also... Where is it? There. They have also been charged with felony burglary in Vermont as well. So presumably, how can Warner Brothers back a star that always seems to be in police custody or around it, or technically on the run?
Yeah.
So you're allowed. The thing is, Ezra Miller's a non-binary actor.
Right.
Like, they refer to themselves as they.
Yeah,
that's a thing. So
okay.
like we are trying to be, as down with it and like do it as we can.
Yeah. Respectful.
So, like, that is an opportunity for them to be such a good voice and advocate and example for non-binary people throughout the world. Like, this is one of the most important characters in DC history.
Exactly.
Being portrayed by a non-binary.
Pretty groundbreaking stuff, yeah.
And the gender has never been important of the character.
No.
So you could bring an aspect of that to the character as well to make their version of Barry Allen stand out more and actually be more connected and have a bit of them as part of it to help them and the character sort of be this force for good.
Right, of course.
They are continually using their power for evil, presumably, because they're
in the real world too.
Because they are supplying guns, drugs, and other such things to underage people. Because it was a fan, presumably, that reportedly came to see them on the set of Fantastic Beasts. They then nearly said he. See, I corrected myself before I said it.
See.
They kept in touch, not with the family, but just with the kid, which was a bit...
Right.
That's a bit creepy.
In his DMs and not the family,
Yeah. So, I think it was they got talking because the fan was non-binary as well, so that's how they sort of both got talking to each other.
Yeah.
And there's the connection. It's like, this isn't creepy, but it's Michael Jackson levels of, why are you letting your kid go and spend time at this ranch with an actor who you have no idea what they are capable of, what they're doing, and they didn't let them have access to their phone or contact the outside world and stuff like that. And that's not, having a friend over. That's a prisoner. But
man in the mirror.
That's yeah, a man very much in the mirror.
Yeah.
But the other thing at DC is the fact that they just canned Batgirl.
Out of the fucking blue. Yeah.
Because it's not the standard of what DC want to do and want to put out, which is really ironic when you see the catalogue of shit they have put out.
You know, right?
And also when you see some of the set photos of Keaton Batman with Barbara Gordon Batgirl with Jim with J.K. Simmons Jim Gordon as well, because he was in it. So
would have tied things. Yeah.
That's a thing that would we would have all seen. But reportedly, they will save approximately between 15 to 20 mil from cancelling it instead of putting it out and it doing badly. But also, you lose out on the box office that it would have presumably made because people would have gone to see it. Because it would have been here's a film with Michael Keaton Batman in it and Ezra Miller's not in it, so that's good. Because they're not having to...
A bit of escapism we have from this universe that we're trying to build and then change our mind every 5 minutes.
If you want a good breakdown on what the future of the DCEU could possibly be, head over to Big Damn have rebranded with a monthly schedule.
Monthly adventure.
Basically, they're doing sort of like big episodes. They have like a challenge kind of thing that they set themselves. That was so they sort of like do their news, brief touches on things they've seen since, because obviously they're not doing weekly anymore. A lot of their exclusive reviews are on their Patreon. They keep exclusive to that. But one of the first things they said was, how would you fix the DCU? And they kind of discussed the fact that Aquaman 2 and The Flash, you can't kind of just bin those off and make no money off it. This was before Batgirl had been canned.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So it was you kind of, the movies that are done, you kind of bring out and then you sort of soft focus away from it and make legacy characters, maybe have Barry Allen get lost in the Speed Force and have Wally West be the DCU Flash and stuff, and you basically do Titans, like Teen Titans, but more adult-y, and that's how they have to take the place of the Justice League.
Exactly, how they can reboot
the Justice
around
Society will be a focus going on with Black Adam and into the Shazam-averse kind of thing.
I hope so. I hope they're not just going to be the DC equivalent of the Illuminati and just be in the one movie and get killed at the end.
The Justice Awadi?
yeah, Justice Awadi.
But, yeah, I go check that out if you want a full breakdown of that, because apparently David Zaslav says they're working on a 10-year plan for a DC cinematic universe. They want to be similar. They want to be similar to what Kevin Feige has been doing with Marvel. And to that I say, you are 15 years too late.
You are,
because
your whole life behind.
The opportunity to do this was 2013 when you started the DCEU. There is no.
Arguably 2012 for the Arrowverse, even. I keep saying about the shows.
There is no trademark of do separate film. No one has copyrighted the formula of introduce a loads of things and then have them cross over. That's just life. That happens in things all the time. So there would have been no shame of them doing a Man of Steel, a Ben Affleck Batman, a Wonder Woman, a Green Lantern, a Cyborg film, a Flash. Then you bring them together into the Justice League, and then you build up to their version of the Infinity Saga is facing off against Doomsday.
Right.
Not Doomsday.
Darkseid.
Darkseid, that's the one.
Yeah,
they're all the fucking same.
They're both D's. They're both a bunch of dickheads.
But I know what they wanted to do originally was have a Justice League film first and then go off into the things. They didn't even do that. It was kind of here's Superman, here's Batman v Superman, and then Suicide Squad, and then Wonder Woman, and then Justice League, I guess, and then Aquaman, but it didn't happen in this universe because we're all back in the Snyderverse.
Yeah, right. But even in both universes, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
Not at all.
It doesn't.
Which is why it's strange, because also in an interview, I forget who it's with, that Fandom Wire, that one about this is the pull quote, which is the title. Are you ready? We have chosen the Snyderverse timeline. WB chief exec David Zaslav rumoured to have changed the Flash storyline to restore the Snyderverse after reports of favouring Henry Cavill as Superman. In the aftermath of Warner Bros. Merger, CEO and president, the future of the billion-dollar company at stake, blah, 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 basically a 10-year plan. And are now looking to copy the Marvel formula, which is a bit late because they've
just a bit, Yeah.
Because they've tried to rejig the formula in terms of, Batman wanted out and they're going to rejig the team and get rid of Superman as well for some reason, just because Ben Affleck doesn't want to be. So like, oh, Henry Cavill must need outing as well.
He must be kicked out. Yeah.
But and
he
then
said he would do it and he hasn't done it yet. Well, screw him.
But even the rejig in terms of the fact in like the post credits or like the end of Peacemaker has Superman, which is presumably Cavill Superman because they're there in silhouette.
Yeah.
So you've got Cavill Superman, Gal Gadot Wonder Woman still, and then you've got Aquaman and Flash. No sign of Cyborg or that version of Batman, but then that version of Batman's going to be in
Aquaman
2. Flash was meant to be the last appearance of the Ben Affleck Batman, but it's back. So if they sort of come round on terms of like, let's keep these stars, and maybe if we ignore the events that kind of happen where it's a bit shit, and just essentially have phase 2 brackets of this thing be the start of like, because I want a Man of Steel 2, because Henry Cavill has always
I've wanted that for ages.
Gone to Warner Brothers with different writers, and they just don't know how to make Superman relevant to audiences. What you do is you do like what Michael was saying. It's basically an immigration thing, like these billion-dollar tycoons want to get this, essentially get rid of this immigrant, and that's a telling story no matter what timeline you fucking try and spin it in, and it's just like, it's ridiculous that it's taken them this long to the point where we know what's coming in Phase 6 of the MCU. Yeah. We're on our second saga out of a possible however many, and it's ridiculous.
And now DC are putting the blueprint forward and going, we will commence that we haven't tried to commence, but maybe we did, but maybe we didn't. We will commence it now.
Yes, definitely full start syndrome.
Now.
But, I don't know, I've always wanted DC movies to be good as well, because I do like those characters.
We like competition. It's healthy
business. If both teams are doing well, then it's kind of like, we got to up our game kind of thing. You know what I mean? But,
competition makes any industry healthy.
Exactly that. And on the flip side, reportedly Amber Heard's screen time in Aquaman has reportedly been cut down to just 2 minutes.
Oh, thanks, fuck.
But then she still gets paid, so that's still a great shame. What would have been the harm in, you've wasted loads of money so far, what would be the harm in just wasted money getting Emilia Clarke to come in and, be Mira, but,
Or make him talk to a fish.
Yeah. Or have sex with him, like they said in Peacemaker. Maybe he talks to Peacemaker. Maybe you just make Peacemaker, Black Adam. Oh, in the DCU chat that they did on, which is now Big Damn, a pop culture podcast instead of Big Damn Cast. They talk about a second, the Suicide Squad movie.
Second movie. Okay.
Yeah. So and they talk about you would basically do, the Secret Six kind of thing.
Secret Six.
Yeah, so you'd have the ones the team that survived the events of the Suicide Squad going up against basically the new breed of the Suicide Squad, and you could have Bane in it, and things like that. It's a really good episode, and it now has they've gone to a video content thing of it as well, so you can see it as well as hear it, like what we used to do, which we'll get back to. But it's just time, money, and expense
and budget.
Yes,
budget. It's
just when everything just fucking happens at once, and you're like, why is this happening now? In news with the cancellation of Batgirl, Simu Liao he tweeted, sorry to inform you guys that Disney decided to scrap the Shang-Chi holiday special due to quality control concerns. I'd already filmed the entire thing and even designed all the gingerbread tails. R.I.P. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Golden Rings. 10 gold rings. Which is a funny little jibe at them, so.
Yeah.
That is definitely
funny, but depressing. Yeah.
It's horrible.
It is just, but it's partly because of this Warner Brother Discovery merger partnership, and they're kind of stepped in and gone, no, we're not spending money on this pointless shite. Something along that line, and it is Discovery has kind of stepped in and kind of said, no, we're not happy with this. Yeah.
Do you know what though? I just want to briefly talk about something that I have. So because I've seen, I've watched 3 films
this week.
Yeah,
3 films.
So last night I watched Lightyear.
Right. Okay,
like you said, distinctly kind of.
It just happened. Yeah.
Average. I think if they hadn't gone with, because Lars said it as well, so we watched it because we wanted to. She was like, "Should we watch Lightyear?" I was like, "Yeah," and I think we were both sort of put off by the immediate caption at the beginning, like in 1995, like Andy got a toy based on it. This is that film, because we were both kind of like, isn't this then meant to be a film that happened in the 90s? But it looks like a 2022 film.
Live action
If it had looked like an
film.
old Star Wars film, or like
Right.
an old Star Trek kind of thing, then you'd have been
Yeah.
like, it has that kind of grungy feel that it's like a...
That actual
It's
aesthetic to it,
trying
yeah.
to be more advanced, but they don't have the capabilities of it. Because obviously, like, the 90s wasn't like that long ago, but still, the technology wasn't as...
pristine and
Yes.
polished and as like, 3D rendered as it was back then.
Especially if you're
Yeah.
trying to make an animated film within an animated film
Right.
that's meant to
Yeah.
happen in the 90s. Chris Evans is quite good. I
Yeah,
think
he's
in terms
fine.
of if you're going for the action hero Buzz Lightyear, I kind of appreciated the origin story for the wings and the laser. I appreciated that more than here's Han Solo's gun in Solo. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Which then led to... Because it was kind of like... So why does Buzz look like he does in the thing when there's no wings
When
and
there's
laser
no
on this
wings.
thing? And then when it ends with like the... And you're setting up the new like Space Ranger Corps, and then the ship looks a bit... Because it's got to like then look like the toy box that
Yeah, exactly.
Buzz comes
that
in, but
Buzz
then it's a
goes
bit
in.
too like boxy and square and on the nose, and it's like
Mm.
all the things they're lining up. I know what they're trying to do, but it feels like they're making a kids film for kids of the 90s rather than a kids film that
Of
also
2020,
generates with the kids
yeah.
of today
Exactly.
that would have just grown up
exactly.
watching Toy Story on Disney Plus or whatever,
Exactly.
and won't have that
yeah,
sentimental attachment to it.
Yeah.
So
No,
at the
I
moment,
agree.
it's very much mid-table-ish in terms of my... I think I'm on 16 films now I've seen. I want to see Nope, which comes out at the end of this week.
Yeah.
I want to see Beast, because I was speaking to you about that. That's
Yeah.
That's in 4DX as well.
Oh fuck.
I want to get eaten by a fucking
Wow.
lion. That's what I want to do.
Ooh.
And obviously I still want to see Bullet Train.
Yes.
Grey Man as well.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it probably slightly less than you because I hadn't done the book as well. But in terms of... It's quality Russo
I just
filmmaking, but
expect-
it's a
yeah.
bit safe.
It is safe, but then do you need like the world's most expensive Netflix budget in it to make? Because
No, I don't think
that's
it-
I think
it's
that's
not-
part of the issue. I think the budget and that's the whole reason it came in my head anyway. Because I knew it was Russo's. It was the most expensive thing. All right, whether that still holds or whether it's been outdated.
Yeah.
Do you think it made the movie any different, or do you think it was just like every
No.
other cool schlocky movie?
They could have just made, because the budget they had essentially, they didn't have a great budget on Winter Soldier, but still the action in that is very it's very real close quarters and has a more
whatever
dangerous
that
element to it.
whatever
Yeah,
that figure is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever the figure is, when you look at like world's most expensive digital film, you do look at it and you think, I've kind of seen this before.
yeah.
But then that's not a diss.
You've
It's
seen,
just-
especially in Netflix levels of quality in movies.
Yeah, that's the thing. It very much looked like a Netflix movie to me. It didn't look like this out of the world.
It didn't
unique,
stand out as something that realistically
distinct product.
It's whereas like when you see films on the big screen, like you know they belong on there, and then you still get a bit of that feel like when you watch it at home, but also like you lose a bit of that scale, which you kind of have to with a home media /
Cost.
digital release. It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like, you know, if you've seen it in the cinema, is like the best place to see it, but also like with streaming stuff, you don't kind of have that,
Feel
Differential
and
in quality.
comparison. Exactly. Yeah, that's well put. Yeah.
which like you say, I think it's very well put that that's quite. It's not integral. It does feel a bit like we've done this dance before, especially in the Netflix world, because
They all
they
kind
throw a
of
lot of money at things but then don't make it back. So does it really matter how much? Like if this had been the cheapest, it probably still would have looked the same.
Right. Yeah.
But,
Is
you know.
Netflix the problem? No.
Maybe in terms of their filmmaking strategy, possibly.
Mm.
Because I don't think I've known a production company to throw that much money at certain things just cause and not
Yeah.
have a long-term financial
Oh,
plan. Because obviously all business, you've got to have a long-term financial plan. Netflix is just kind of like, we are the training prototype for all streaming services, so everyone's learning off of our mistakes and not doing them.
No,
which is
but
essentially
then-
what Disney Plus has taken and gone, don't
Yeah,
do this, don't do this.
Don't do this.
Make things as long as they need to be instead of, fit it to order kind of thing.
And then that's the thing. I think they literally just heard the Russos. They knew they were free, and they're kind of like, well, we want our budget. Who's got budget? Who's made the world's highest grossing movie that then got beaten by the wrong movie? But whatever.
Yes.
In my mind, it still is the highest grossing movie of all time.
It will be when they re-release it again and they just
Yeah.
jump between each other for the next 10 to 20
But
years.
then will Avatar 2 even come close?
I hope it fucking doesn't. Do you know what has come close?
So what, to Endgame or to Avatar? Or
To one of the highest grossing movies of all time.
what is it? A
That was a
recent
good.
movie?
That was a good segue. Yes.
Oh, was it? It weren't intentional.
Well, it's certainly domestically because Top Gun Maverick is now
Right.
number 7,
Yeah, my mum mentioned
the highest
it, yeah.
grossing films of all time domestically this weekend, passing Titanic. So in
Ooh.
America, at the very least,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise has done
Is that
something right.
high?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay. That kind of speaks volumes.
Yes.
Go and see Maverick in case you haven't, because
I wish I'd seen it in 4DX. I will probably pick it up or see it when it comes on some kind of streaming service.
Something.
I presume Paramount Plus,
I assume so. Yeah. Which I still haven't got.
which I still don't need to get. Like it's the same with Apple TV Plus. Like I want to watch Blackbird with Taron Egerton in
I
it.
started it last night. Only one episode in. Essentially, it ends with him getting into the prison. So it very much was like a long prologue. But
Cool.
But I like the story.
Sets the scene kind of thing.
I like how he ends up there. I didn't know how much detail it was going to go in, because I don't think that's based on anything. I don't think it's a book or
I've
anything.
not seen it like based or adapted from anything.
From what I've read. But it was one of those where I thought, okay, get in the prison. But I quite like... get in the prison. No, but I quite liked him out of the prison before he then went in the prison. But that's where I'm at. I'm in the prison.
Well, let us know
what it's like. What life's like in the prison.
Do like an in-depth review on it, because we need to do like a wider thing of it. I think we're just going to release your June thing when I find it. We'll just release that on June 2 day.
On June 2 day, yeah, that's fine.
Because I don't know where that went or what happened with that, but you know. I also watched. You haven't watched it yet.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this when I walked
Prey.
in. Yeah. Prey.
Honestly, I was excited at the premise. I've been let down by Predator's not a big franchise for me. It's more of an 80s thing.
Yeah.
And a lot, like, you know, like our parents and that would probably be more like, that's the Predator movie.
Yeah.
Because I like Predator 1. It's like...
I don't know who doesn't.
Predator 2 is decent. Obviously, when it goes a bit, you know, shit like Predators and The Predator.
I didn't mind 2010. I didn't finish 2018 Autistic Predator. Not this.
I
the
didn't.
Needy Predator.
I didn't hate it.
Really? Okay.
The Adrian Brody one's a bit.
No, I think that one's decent.
Oh, it's very early 2000. What are we gonna do?
Fine. Yeah.
And obviously
Really?
AVP is AVP, and it's, you know, we only, you know,
And Requiem.
all that set up for the third movie that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I will say, Prey is fan-bloody-tastic. The cast is phenomenal. The premise is unique and something that I think really worked in revitalizing. I'm making up words. You've rejuved, have you? I've rejuved. The premise in terms of the fact that it's just like this native tribe in Africa.
I don't know anything
believe.
about it. Is it, as I say, is it in space? Is he on Earth? Like, what is it?
He's on Earth, and I believe
he's on
Earth, and I believe it's in Africa.
Is it meant to be in modern times?
I think it's modern. I think it's just an indigenous tribe.
Oh, okay.
And she's basically the lead female protagonist. Is just protecting her tribe and her family.
Okay.
From, you know, it might be slightly in the past. All I remember is
I just don't know
fucking
anything.
some great action set pieces in terms of the fact that technology-wise, she's severely at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
But what she's got, she's using, and the Predator clearly hasn't got all of his stuff that works. So it's kind of that is how you level the playing field a bit.
Exactly, it doesn't make him OP and right.
It makes him scary again. I think it's the Terminator levels of terrifying chase combat kind of thing.
T1, T2 vibes.
Yeah, you know, like that thing of like the relentless, like it's coming and how do we stop it kind of thing.
Okay, but with a Predator.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So, and for me, that's why it is in very much the top half of my films at the moment.
What you've seen? Oh, fucking hell.
Yes.
I literally read it as the film that everyone forgot was releasing, and I've still kind of forgot. I hadn't got around to it. But
I forgot for a while. Like I knew, like I'd heard of it, and it was like, this is cool. The trailer was very intriguing, but then when it came out, it kind of just like, it's taken it like everyone that I've seen then do a ranking list of the Predator films has put this firmly as number 2, and the best movie since the original, rightly so.
Right.
Which I agree with. I think you could make an argument for it being better, but I think in terms of like the first one makes you.
It does.
Like your appreciation for that goes up because that did all the hard work for what the Predator is, and this is it in a completely different environment, the scenario, and it's not just a thing of like they're doing the hunt thing. It's like, you know, it's essentially the Home Alone of trying to defend yourself against a murderous creature, and it's
Okay. Yeah, Home Alone, but just not with fucking robbers. It's extraterrestrial.
against a
hunters.
relentless hunter
that doesn't stop.
Yes.
It should be Venom, but terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No, I've heard universal praise. I've not
Yes.
read anything about it, but it was one of those films that legit, like I said, the world's most forgotten released film that was
Yes.
upcoming, and it just kind of hit us hard.
And shall I show you where it is at the moment?
Yeah, go on then. I say you number everything you watch. I can't. I just keep track of.
Well,
what
because
I've
what I
watched.
do is I number them like I do, like so I'll do it so look like the first one automatically goes in and then things move up and down, but also with home media releases.
You
Like
then
where I
rewatch
get to
them
watch them again. Sometimes
that's-
like because Free Guy was up there for enjoyment factor, but that had to like with other stuff that was like Last Night in
Yeah, to be
Soho for me was a
compromised, yeah.
much better movie. But obviously you take into account your enjoyment and your personal preference, and that kind of balances it out. So at the moment, this is my list.
Am I not
Just
saying?
don't read it out at the moment. We'll do it in
I
December.
forgot what
But
that one. Yeah. Really? That one at number 8? I thought that was the part of the dog shite. That would be at my bottom.
do you know what it is? It's slap bang in the middle because of the experience that I had when I saw it.
Sorry, I didn't finish reading, but I was just. I mean, I can't comment on Turning Red. Spoiler alert, it's in the list.
But it's one of them
yeah.
because thankfully, like where I haven't had a lot of time to get out, like, there's still a lot of films on streaming that I've made. Like
What's number 3? I don't. What's that film?
you know the the Adam Sandler one with the basketball.
Oh, is that a
That's-
Netflix film? Is
That's
it
the
a
Netflix film.
one?
Yeah.
Okay, is that high?
Honestly,
Is it good?
honestly,
For Adam Sandler, is it good?
for Adam Sandler, at the
Yeah.
moment, at the moment at least it's bronze medal.
And it was number 2, number 1 again. Without saying it, of course. Okay, yeah, all right. I thought number 1 wasn't your number 1, but okay. At
That
the minute, from what
for
you've
for
seen,
me,
yeah.
in terms of
Yeah, yeah.
a quality film, in terms of filmmaking, and the level that it does for that particular character,
Yeah, it's up there.
it's
yeah.
yet to be beaten, especially by.
Okay.
I think the main thing is going to be these two are going to fall quite a lot.
Book 4 and 5.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I think they're going to fall by quite some way, and not just from the 3 films that I will hopefully see this
You're
coming
right.
week.
The next 7 days.
Because
will change things, yeah.
I think Bullet Train, Nope, and
Yeah. What's the
and
third
Beast,
film?
I think could all possibly. I think Beast would sort of be
My
the
3 will be.
Godzilla versus Kong thing of like it's you know
Yeah.
it's a monster movie. It's essentially
Beast is.
Idris Elba Jaws.
Is it out next week, Beast, or the week after? I thought it
I thought
was
it
the
was out
week
in-
after.
It might be the week after then. But I think that would be in terms of enjoyment level of that kind of thing. But it's maybe be better made because it's like we said, small cast.
Yeah.
It's like Jaws, but very secluded. It might work off the goodwill of what Prey's done. Ironically,
Ooh, okay.
that might
ooh.
make it better. I think where a lot of the change is going to happen is in the middle. I think
of course.
for me,
the middle, definitely
I
the middle.
think like the bottom 4 or 5, I think are tied on. That one's definitely tied on for last.
Yeah. Okay. You hate.
Have you
yeah.
watched that?
No, not yet.
I would
no,
implore you
no.
to watch it just to see how bad
Oh,
a
no,
kids
I'm
movie
going
can
to.
be.
Yeah, I'm going to.
All of them, because have you watched Cheap by the Dozen yet?
No.
I can say it's in there because you don't know where it is.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
The Bubble, you finished that?
I did, but that
Distinctly
yeah.
disappointing. I
I
think.
loved the first half, but the ending just didn't
It
do nothing for me.
Do you think the pace fell off like halfway through?
Mate, it changed the movie for me. It was so great, and then
And even when you look at like a lot of those are streaming ones. A lot of those
I know, they suck.
streaming exclusive, streaming
They
exclusive,
suck.
streaming exclusive, streaming
Right.
exclusive. I only saw that on streaming.
Yeah.
Streaming exclusive, streaming exclusive.
Mm.
But that one's still better than that one. I think that one might move up because in terms of the message, but it depends if we get another Pixar film this year, which I don't think we do.
I don't think we do.
But I
No.
think maybe a few things will slot in between those two and push that up. And I think there'll be a lot of change from.
Up there.
I think from 4.
but I
from
think-
4 till about 9. I think there'll be a lot of changing. More stuff to come in.
I'm hoping number 6 goes up. I'm hoping number 6
I think
gets
it-
a stealth push.
I think it will because I think I'm due for a wee watch. I think it will sort of sit around there, but I think those two will move below
Oh,
it.
100%, yeah. So that will automatically make it like 5 or 4 at the minute.
I think
something
that at
like
the
that.
moment that's where
Yeah,
it's kind of gonna.
That's the bar. Okay.
That's it at this moment in time,
Yeah.
as of the 10th of August. But we still have about 4.5 months left of the year, so there's a lot more films still to come out. You've probably seen a lot more than me. I was.
Mate, since 4, I haven't been to cinema for like a month.
We've probably seen about similar amounts of films. Have you watched Bob's Burgers yet?
Oh, no, I don't watch the streaming stuff. I need to get on the streaming stuff.
That's me. That's what I found easier because I have a child and I can't go out.
You can't go out.
You're at that point where you don't necessarily have the time, so you need to knock out the streaming ones.
If
you can knock out Prey,
I don't have the time because of life. But then when I do have time, I want to go out and watch a movie, not watch it at home. But yeah, I mean, I've got to make sure I've even got Bullet Train on my list at the minute.
Because you do the thing of you just writing down when you've seen them, and then you try and make a hesitant list like the day of.
It works somehow. No. Yeah, so Bullet Train.
It's weird how that's kind of adapted because 2018 we obviously didn't do it because it had only been 6 months. We didn't really think of it, and then it was like 2019 we did it, but it was top 5, bottom 5.
Yeah.
And then 2020 onwards we've kind of done, even though 2020 we saw fuck all, but it was kind of like our list, and it's become this, and I like it, and it makes it easier for me because then I kind of.
I think I know. Sorry to cut you off. I know what my bottom is, and it's not.
Go on then.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was a letdown.
Oh,
that was disgusting.
That's an exclusive. That might be at the bottom of Connor's list come December.
That was disgusting.
I
mean, Ice Age doesn't have to do much to make it slightly above, but from George's words.
Do you know what I think? I think you're going to get 10 minutes in and you're going to go, George is right. This is the bottom of the fucking list.
This is horrible. Yeah, okay. But then do I? Part of me thinks, the kid in me, do I have to? Because I never finished the franchise. I think I watched Dawn of Dinosaurs cinema, but since then I've not seen.
I would watch.
Do I need to watch the rest.
I would watch
to affect it, or to have any impact.
I mean, I'd watch all of them because they are quality films. Like the first one is, I think, still the best. I still get a lot of enjoyment out of the second and the third one.
Love the Meltdown,
the fourth one's quite good. Continental Drift, and then it's Collision Course when it's the asteroid thing.
2016 or something.
Yeah.
Asteroid. Oh, that says it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Adventures of Buckwild is the first one without Scrat in it. And that's why they released the short thing of Scrat finally getting the acorn, because it was like the goodbye from Blue Sky Studios kind of thing. Like, we don't know if this is going to get picked up. And I assume that given the terrible reaction to Ice Age Adventures of Buckwild, that I don't think this is getting a sequel or any kind of franchise continuation because the original cast isn't in it. Yeah. So I would watch the original 5.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because then because Buck's in it he's in number 3, he's not in number 4, he comes back for number 5, which I never knew until I was like rewatching it, and I was like,
why
this
is
just
that?
fucking weird. Simon Pegg's back, and then Simon Pegg's the only consistency in Ice Age Adventures of Buckwild. Yeah,
I might have to do that then. Okay, that will take me all. No, it won't take me all year, but I say that will be the worst project. I'll take my time when I get to it. Oh boy, I won't look forward to it.
Possibly, but
yeah.
So Prey, I would say at the moment, Prey, go and watch it.
Okay.
But the thing I was going to say about is the new series on Disney Plus.
What's that?
Light and Magic.
Light and Magic.
Yes.
What on earth is that?
What would you say it would be about?
Behind the sofa, behind the scenes of Disney, and how we made Light and Magic in our behind the scenes effect of Pixar. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It sounds like a documentary thing.
It's a documentary series. About how George Lucas formed Industrial Light and Magic, which is
I did hear about this.
You know, the first visual effects production like house, essentially.
Yeah, right. It wasn't Pixar. I just replaced that with LucasArts, and I was spot on. Okay,
it's very good. I think some of that is better than inside the Disney studio making of Mandalorian stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I know that this Friday the Avengers the Marvel Assembled of Miss Marvel comes out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I still need to watch them, but yeah.
So I would say that I look forward to that, but Light and Magic so far is one of my favourite things I'm watching. I'm on episode 2. They're about 45 minutes long.
How many? Are all of them out, or are they coming out weekly?
I believe they're all out because... let me just have a double check. So it's basically, for those who don't know, George Lucas was a filmmaker that wanted to create this big sci-fi space western, but did other stuff first, like American Graffiti, which is a great film if you haven't watched it.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah.
And then, because of his ideas for Star Wars, he had to form his own visual effects company to do both practical, like the model shot effects, and for the computer generated stuff. And it is honestly fantastic. Like it's one of the most insightful things and most enjoyable things I think I've seen for a long time. Like they did the behind the scenes on the Marvel stuff.
Mm.
Oh no, it's all out. I think all the Groot stuff's out because I've got loads of different I Am Groot, Magnum Opus. So the first one's called I Am Groot's First Steps, where he gets out of the plant pot at the end of Guardians 1.
Oh.
So.
Oh, okay.
There you go. There's an exclusive.
Various points in the timeline then.
Yeah, let me just go on this. Yes, so Light and Magic has 6 episodes.
6? Okay.
Oh no, so 59 minutes, 53 minutes, hour 3, 54, hour 3.
Okay.
Broken up into 6 chapters. You've got Gang of Outsiders, On the Bucking Bronco, Just Think About It, I Think I Found My People, Morphin, and No More Pretending You're Dinosaurs.
And what episode are you on?
I'm at the end of episode 2 on the Bucking Bronco. So
fair enough.
It talks about John Dystra and the person that he put in charge of it while he was away filming Star Wars in Tunisia and stuff like that, and then a lot of the effect shots weren't done and he was getting like really angry, and then episode 2 is like when they basically hit their stride with making the effect shots for the first Star Wars, because it shows all the stuff that ILM has gone on to make, like in the intro. Like you get all the stuff like E.T., Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, things like that, the Harry Potter movies, a lot of the visual effects for that kind of stuff, because it was the first at the forefront of visual effects production houses in film and cinema. And obviously a lot of production companies have come since, but this is like the big OG one, kind of.
Yeah, the template for everyone
And you see him
else.
talking about how all the money he made from American Graffiti, he put £500,000 of that, or $500,000 of that, his money that he got paid into forming ILM to get better equipment, to build the cameras, to do all that thing, to then get it into the point where it's a multi-billion-dollar industry and production house. So my recommendation for this week, if that's a thing, is
Prey and that Industrial Light and Magic.
Is Light and Magic on Disney Plus. 6 episodes. I'm gonna hopefully polish off another episode in a bit tonight. I want to finish off the second episode and get through episode 3 because I'm really enjoying it, and then I'll probably whack through some of I Am Groot or whatever, because that will just take mere seconds, dear boy.
Yeah, that will take seconds.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
There's some stuff for you to watch there. Just like you should watch more of this podcast, because do you know what I'm bringing back?
The end game shebangers.
Well, the cliffhanger, yes. But briefly, I just want to say, rest in peace to Olivia Newton-John, who sadly passed away at the age of 73 after a near 30-year battle with breast cancer.
Yeah.
It's astounding that she fought it for that long, and it's terrible that that's still such a young age to sadly go. And John Travolta's tribute on Instagram was very touching. And if you're going to do something this week, watch Grease. Watch Grease. Have a good time.
Yeah.
Do it for Sandy. But
that's a good shout. Yeah, that's sweet.
Do you know this? So we're going to try the cliffhanger thing, just because I've got loads of these things I need to delete from my phone. Like, that's loads of the stuff from Comic-Con I need to fucking go through. Like, some of the stuff we may have touched on with Mike, we may not have, but we'll clear it next week, because seemingly confirmed by Pirates of the Caribbean producer Jerry Bruckheimer is that Margot Robbie is set to replace Johnny Depp in the lead role of the beloved Disney franchise of Pirates of the Caribbean, which kind of says to me that maybe we're not getting another Jungle Cruise movie, because Jungle Cruise kind of felt like we need a franchise based off of a roller coaster to replace the franchise based off of a roller coaster
that had legal trouble. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I'm not against another Pirates film, but Johnny Depp kind of has to be involved in some capacity, and especially now,
yeah,
like, give him the opportunity to rebuild his career in some way, because that role is nothing without him, and those films arguably are a big pile of unwatchable shit after number 3 onwards without him in it. And
I've got no energy.
Yeah.
I've watched the first one maybe 3 or 4 times, but I have no energy in me to watch the rest. I do not know why.
I love the first one. I really love the second one. I think Dead Man's Chest is great. 3 is okay, a nice wrap up, and it could have ended there, and then it's kind of like, But also, maybe we have a Disney roller coaster movie cinematic universe.
Oh dear.
And then they culminate and they fight in the It's a Small World Battle World.
Secret rails.
Secret rails.
There you go.
It's a small world after all. It's a
Secret rails.
small roller coaster world. But yes, that has been it from this
Secret
episode
rails.
of Nerd Bible Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, watching, absorbing, and enjoying. Hopefully, maybe that's an outro. We'll get there eventually. I've been George.
I've been Connor.
Yes, and thank you for
Not
joining
Johnny
me.
Depp.
Yeah, you've not been Johnny Depp. Thank you for joining us once again. We will see you the same time next week. If you want to get in contact with us in the meantime, you can follow at Pasty Shoot across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Will probably post some of the journey to
To London.
London
town.
on the old, London on the old TikTok. Maybe
London town.
you'll see some of that on there. And if you want to get in contact with us through a more direct line of communication, you can send all emails, inquiries to
Nerd Bible Pod.
no.
I was going to say the podcast. nerdbiblecontact@gmail.com.
Thank you so much. And all that's left to say is
Connor.exe stopped working.
yes, he has stopped working, but we will see you next time, and hopefully
Yeah.
in London.
In
Maybe.
London town, yeah.
We should get some stickers or something. Stickers.
Jelly babies.
Carry all over your anus. Delish.